Reached that total with some superb shooting from deep. A fantastic performance from him, something he wants to repeat tonight. Kevin?
David, we appreciate the update. Great, we'll see if he can keep rolling here tonight.
Yeah, and that's the rub. When he's in rhythm, he can carry your team across the line.
And you want to see him make sure that the teammates are also involved in what they're doing, especially if he draws that much attention.
Gets it to go from beyond the arc.
That's a dozen straight points coming off the
Triple. The Pistons have gone just 33% from the field in what's been a cold second quarter for them. Just 3 of 9. Schroeder outside, beyond the arc. It's hauled in by the Heat. And how about this team? They've certainly impressed on the road this season, now up over 25 wins away from home. It's remarkable.
Well, give their coaching staff a lot of credit for preparing them to come into hostile environments and just totally silence the crowd. This team's character and how prepared they are makes them a nightmare matchup for anyone in our league.
That's in, coming off the assist from Thompson. Thompson's got his 4th assist with that last one here tonight. Here's Houdini. He's covered by Sasser. Detroit's gotten cold from deep in the second quarter, just 2 of 6 from long range.
Well, they've been better than good on the glass today, and there is a glaring discrepancy between these two teams in that area.
And that one's good. Houdini.
Well, this is a gravity game right now. Whatever he throws up must come down. He's having a great game.
Thompson outside. And it's Thompson with the jam.
And when he lets the athleticism take over, Thompson can do almost anything.
Here's Houdini. He's covered by Sasser. And that one's good. Houdini.
And he's starting to show that killer instinct this quarter, looking to extend the lead.
One thing you can pretty much count on with the Heat, Brent Barry, they're going to grind it out.
Yeah, this team has always been built around tenacity and toughness. Even with the big three, with LeBron, D-Wade, and Bosh, there was a bit of a metamorphosis with the way LeBron approached games. Kind of being hated on was something they embraced, and that culture demands that hustle accountability and will consistently be about their culture.
Now, here's Schroeder. We saw him with 19 points his last outing. The three-pointer off the mark.
No doubt it's been a bit of a struggle for him here in this quarter in terms of scoring.
Here's Houdini. And he buries that one, drilling the rim on the way down.
Impressive, really, from that short 17 area. They are not missing many.
The Pistons shooting poorly, just 35% so far. Schroeder with the ball. And he can be counted on to put some points on the board every night. He's averaging Right around 13.5 points again.
Textbook pick and roll, great execution, and a slick pass from the German point guard.
And Miami shooting an almost unfair 78% from the field. Here's Houdini. Nice form on the 20-footer.
That's 10 straight off of the mid-range.
The Pistons shooting 35% so far in the second. They need to move the ball around more and find better looks. The screen from Thompson. Schroeder, left side. Here's the three. And it's Miami with the rebound. Ware's got 8 rebounds in this game.
Time for some consideration in the passing category, maybe, Kevin. The shot is just not on. Get somebody else going. I love the aggressiveness. He's been on fire the entire first half and continues to strike while the iron's hot.
Schroeder outside, shoots it, and it's Miami with the rebound. And you know what? We've run out of superlatives to describe this club. They've been untouchable. 31 straight wins. Do you hear me? 31. And sometimes it looks like they're not even breaking a sweat.
Well, this squad has been on an unreal tear through the competition to this point. No question, this is going to end up being one of the greatest all-time streaks that we have ever seen. How far can these guys go? And what's going to be the factor in the game that ends this streak? That's going to be interesting.
6 to shoot. Sasser. They can't stop the run with that one.
And there hasn't been anything easy for him in this period.
No, I haven't seen him in comfortable spots, or at least spots we've seen in this offensive set that are allowing him to settle in.
Defensively, they just look out of sync, not closing out on the threes in time.
So for the Pistons, their last game, a win against the Bulls. Back to Moore. It is flushed down with a nice jam.
My goodness, he is such a great dunker.
Greg, a high riser, no doubt about it. Here's Houdini. He's covered by Sasser. And another one falls. He's been absolutely ridiculous in this game.
You get the sense he just can't miss.
They could use a big shot here to get this offense going.
Too many empty possessions. Right now, they need a basket.
Thompson outside. Tries a three. And Ware pulls it down. They have been really controlling this one.
You never want to be complacent on the floor. That's when you lose momentum.
The Pistons shooting about 35% from the floor. Not much falling for them. Took him no time at all on that one. Schroeder's got his second bucket tonight.
The veteran Schroeder, excellent at recognizing when that mid-range jumper opens up.
And they're getting their points now almost exclusively from the triple. 4 of their last 5 makes are from beyond the arc.
Now here's Schroeder. To the left wing, here's Sasser. The shot's good on the assist by Schroeder. Schroeder's got 3 assists now in this one. And here are the Heat now. So it's off to Brooklyn after this game as they have the Nets to look forward to. That'll be the first half of a 2-game trip.
Yeah, he's going to knock that down if you give it to him. Uncompetitive there defensively.
Well, defense also looking defeated. The lack of hustle is driving the coaching staff a little bit batty right now.
Now here's Schroeder. Puts up a 3. Rebound by the Heat. Jovic has got 6 rebounds here tonight.
Yeah, and a dangerous trend here as they're starting to live and die with outside jumpers.
And the D has gotten a little bit laxed here defending the triple.
And so it's Schroeder with the ball. He'll bring it up for the Pistons. The Heat beat them last time when these two teams met down in South Florida.
And it's going to come down to effort tonight. Last time they met each other, they were demolished on the boards, and that rebounding difference led to a sizable loss.
Well, let's see if the lesson was learned from that loss. If they come out with the same type of effort, they can expect a similar result here.
The Heat shooting an absolutely astounding 80% from the field. Everything is falling. Lets it go from deep, and it's good. 3 points on the board on the shot from Houdini.
He's got a lot to do with the position that they're in. A very smart offensive performance tonight from him.
Thompson, a screen on Lewis. Here's Melton. And just miss after miss right now.
Well, he creates such a great opportunity right at the rim, and he just can't get it to go, even with the defense not really a factor.
Cunningham outside, and he's way off from outside. A dominating first half of basketball, and so far hasn't been close. It's the Heat just dominating this one. And join us right back here after the break for the start of the second half.
Hey, folks, thanks for joining us. It would be
They've kept the ball moving. No one's trying to be a hero, and you see the results.
Yeah, they're just not slinging it around. They are passing.
Let's look now and see how teams.
Taking a look here at Miami, they're in that #1 spot for a reason, playing well as a team, making it look easy. Definitely the team to beat right now, guys.
Going to take a lot to knock them out that top spot. Until then, this is their league.
And that'll do it for halftime.
Well, we've got a second half of basketball for you. We think it's going to be pretty good. A big comeback, though, is needed for this game to be competitive, and it probably has to happen quickly. You look at Houdini, what a contribution.
Yeah, and the bulk of his damage so far has come from the perimeter. A lot of threes early on.
Yeah, he keeps tracking down those spots behind the three-point line and finding some open opportunities.
They've got Houdini. Bam Adebayo is out there with Tyler Hero. Then it's James. And it's Ware in at the 5. That's the group in the game for the Heat. You know, Brent, when you wonder why GMs take a risk on project big men, Bam Adebayo is an example of why they do just that.
Yeah, Kevin, it's not always about the project working out. It's about teams that have a plan for the project. And certainly Miami was able to do that. You have to credit Bam. He put the work in. The guy has been solid. He's an all-star. He's continuing to improve, and he gives you everything on both ends of the floor every night.
Another good play. This is how they built the lead, calling on the right guys at the right time.
Basketball IQ is something that gets talked about, but its importance to a team showing up here, running plays that turn into scores.
Thompson passes to Cunningham. And then Cunningham with the dunk.
Yeah, Cade, hard to stop. He's got his motor revved high tonight.
Second half just getting started. About a minute played. Here's Houdini. Non-stop scoring machine here. And good that time.
He's played a huge role in this game to this point, but it looks like he just wants more. He wants to make sure that this lead holds up.
Cunningham passes to Holmes. Now Thompson shoots over Hero. And a big bounce off the rim, but it sinks right in. 13 points now in the game from Ausar Thompson. Here he goes.
The offense just opens up if your playmaker comes from that 4 or 5 spot, and Bam does such a great job of it.
Third quarter of play with just over a minute and a half gone by. Cunningham passes to Thompson. And the 3 off target. Heat have gone 3 of 3 from the field since halftime. Houdini, rebound by the Pistons.
Yeah, but they're 3 of 4 to start the second half.
And he's good on the 3 ball.
Assists like that have typified their effort today. Terrific ball movement.
The screen from Thompson. Now here's Melton. He gives his team some nice contributions, averaging a bit over 10 points a game.
Yeah, if Ausar is anywhere near the hoop, he's got one thing on his mind, and that is jams.
Here's Houdini, the tray, and again, Miami with the triple.
And really, as the three-pointers keep dropping, you get the sense that the frustration is mounting for the defense.
Hunter on the wing. Melton sets a screen for Hunter. Trying to answer back, but that three is off the mark. Pass to Houdini. Adebayo with the ball. Here's Houdini. That's in, coming off an assist from Adebayo. Houdini's got 13 points in the second half.
Yeah, this looks like a pregame shoot-around with all the threes they're allowing.
Back to Cunningham. Connects from three-point range. Cunningham's got 5 points now this quarter.
And that's Cunningham coming back with the rapid response.
Here's Houdini. His three-pointer is off the mark.
Not quite enough defense. That time around, just lucky he was off.
The shot by Thompson, no good.
Yeah, the three-pointer has not been his weapon in this one. He had one in the first quarter and still 0 here in the second.
Here's Houdini. Hits it from three-point range.
Having a lot of trouble stopping the three. Point shot.
I'm coming.
Here's Cunningham. 19 points in the game. On the wing, Thompson. Rebound by the Heat. Ware's got 13 rebounds in the game. Class eating. Let's go. And it's good off the back rim and in.
Boy, has he put his foot on the pedal here this quarter. He's doing a terrific job in terms of leading their offense.
Now, here's Cunningham, and the points coming for him in big bunches. His average stands at just about 29.5 points a game.
The D giving him that shot, and that's probably not a good idea, but I guess they knew what they were doing that time.
Here's Houdini, and the Heat, another three.
It's been this way since halftime. Tremendous production from beyond the arc.
Yeah, pretty infectious right here. Guys in good spirits, and percentages from downtown on the rise in the second half.
Here's Melton. And again, unable to change momentum here. The Heat shooting has been wild, 76%. That's just unbelievable. And the Heat, another three.
I mean, he is at his best when it matters most. This game is theirs as long as he can keep this up.
Pass to Holmes. Now, here's Cunningham. A tad short, but it's good off the front iron. Cunningham's got 7 points here in this quarter.
Now, that basket must be widening out right now, and he's making almost every shot he's putting up this quarter.
Houdini, good, he hits again.
And he's been dominant here thus far.
Shouldering the offense, GA, really taking it to the opposition. Jaime Jaquez, he's checked in for the Heat. Jerome comes in for James. Detroit's gone into a slump here from three-point range, shooting just 1 of 5 here in the third. Shooting foul as the whistle blows. He'll shoot 2 free throws. Here's a look at what's coming up for the Detroit Pistons. On Monday, they'll face off against Donovan Mitchell and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Then on Wednesday, they'll tip off a road trip in Washington where they'll take on the Wizards.
And if I'm this team, I'm looking at this as a barometer to see how we stack up against some of the top teams in the league. They'll have to be at their best, but if they come out of this with some success, I think it'll build momentum for the rest of the run.
And Cunningham with that #1 selection, lots of expectations for him, so a steep learning curve to get to the level that he wants to play at, but he's got a great work ethic, and he's going to give you his best effort every night.
And it's blocked. Pass to Houdini. And the Heat, another three. And taking a quick look here at the hustle stats for Miami.
A high-effort brand of defense has been paying off for them in this one. They've managed to either block or alter a ton of their opponent's shots.
Well, if we add another thing to it, it's about the urgency they've played with. I mean, you look at the eyes of these guys. They're focused, want to get up tempo, and that's helped them score on the fast break.
This is his second attempt at the line tonight.
And so far this season, shooting at a 75% clip from the line.
Peyton, he's checked in for Miami. Morris checked in for Detroit. Dennis Schroeder comes in for Cunningham to stop the run. Hunter, no good. Heat shooting the lights out in this one, 77%. And that one's good. Houdini.
Well-rounded effort, and they show no signs of letting up.
Coaching staff probably most proud of the effort of this team on both ends of the floor here tonight.
Now, here's Hunter. Still yet to score. Here's Thompson. The rebound by Houdini. Houdini's got 4 rebounds in this game. Tries it from 19. And a little luck that time, but it drops.
From that in-between range, they've been the much better team.
Pass to Hunter. Back to Schroeder. Takes a 3. Cans it from downtown. Schroeder's got 7 points in the game.
Well, Schroeder, a guy that does not lack for confidence, connecting on that catch and shoot.
Good, that's another bucket.
And this game has his name written all over it.
Greg, he's been phenomenal in offensive onslaught. Thompson outside. Holmes with a screen on Hawkels. Thompson passes to Holmes. Great D that time from Adebayo.
And you can see the defenders afraid to kind of get in his way a lot of times when he's on his way to the basket. But on that one, they were there.
Here's Houdini. What an incredible scoring display he has put on tonight.
And this is how you want to come out of the half. Prolific and efficient.
Well, the thing is, they're controlling the pace right now, and if that was the mantra for them at halftime, they've carried it out.
And that assist got him a little nod from his teammate after that one.
And here are the Heat. Here's Houdini for 3. And good. there's another.
And he's been dominant here thus far.
Shouldering the offense, GA really taking it to the opposition. Pass to Thompson. Holmes with a screen on Jaquez. Thompson for the triple. It's hauled in by Bam Adebayo. Adebayo's got 14 rebounds. Here's Houdini. Fires from deep. And the Heat, another. Three.
I mean, this guy is unreal. What a show.
Schroeder outside. Holmes setting the pick for Schroeder. And he can't answer back. The three-pointer offline. There's the three. Good, another from three.
He has been on the money from deep.
Yep, definitely looking to shoot it as much as possible. Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time taking the lid off.
Get the perimeter.
They need this. It's Adebayo with the rebound. 1:57 left here in the third quarter. Houdini, and a miss there on the triple. And, well, Detroit shooting not looking too good out there in the second half, right around 32%.
Stay there.
Schroeder looking around, releases. Again, the miss by the Pistons.
Maybe there are ways to contribute that don't involve shooting the basketball. That's the best way that maybe he can help them. him out and trying to win this game.
And that's back-to-back threes. The D just seems to be slacking off a little bit.
Pass to Hunter. To the inside. And it's Miami with the rebound.
Hey, come around.
Here's Houdini. And again. Miami with the triple.
Out of their last 5 makes, how about all 5 from long range?
Schroeder kicks to Moore. Back to Schroeder. Looking to end his cold spell. It's not going to go for him.
All the energy is on the other side right now, and every miss just makes it worse.
Well, the other team is scorching hot, and they come down on this end and can't find a way to get the embers going.
Pistons shooting 32%. Overall right now, not one of their better showings. Pass to Hunter, back to Schroeder. Holmes setting the big for Schroeder. Cranes it from beyond the arc. Schroeder's got 10 points.
Well, you can see and maybe feel right now him getting into the comfort zone out there after dropping the second three of the half.
And I'll like the back and forth here, showing confidence from range.
It seems like they're going to find out who can make the deep his threes. Right now, it's a shootout.
Here's Holmes. Great D that time from Adebayo. And so it's the Miami Heat with a huge lead at the break. Safe to say there's no catching them today. And it's been their rugged defense setting the tone. And don't go away. We'll be right back. And as we head into the fourth, we'll see if there's a comeback in the works or if it's more of the same from the first three quarters. And Detroit, looking at who they've got. They've got Marcus Sasser. He's out there with Dennis Schroeder. Jones is out there with Alexander. And it's Moore in at the 4 spot. And it's Schroeder with the ball. He brings it up for Detroit. We've heard. Players and coaches complain, Brent, that the rules are too skewed in favor of the offense. Do you think that's true?
Well, Kevin, offense sells, and the fact that we've talked about how the league has increased pace, you don't really even have time to play defense in today's game. The one thing that I do like is that the league has allowed for some variance and some zone defense to start to be employed. So tactically, coaches are trying to throw different strategies out there, but man to man, it's hard.
Miami's gone 2 for 2 from three-point land to start the fourth quarter. Sinks the triple.
Yeah, letting it rip. They're just having fun right now.
Yeah, some of these nights you got to enjoy yourself. Not too much at the expense of the other team, but right now this team is balling.
Now Sasser. Moore outside. Nice ball movement by Detroit. Back to Sasser. Right wing. 6 on the shot clock. Looking to end the run. And that one's good. Schroeder.
Yeah, he was sitting back a little bit there in the first half, but feels like showtime now, and he's ready to put some major points up on the board.
Here's Houdini. Launches a 3. And again, Miami with the triple.
And it just seems that every pass they make is leading to a score. Just great ball movement.
To the left side wing. Alexander in the post. Inside, Jones. Lewis grabs the board. The Heat have gone a perfect 4 of 4 to start the final quarter. Can't ask for anything more than that. And that one's good. Houdini.
Bottom line, you need shooters on your team who can space the floor.
Oh, there's no doubt he's a legitimate threat from downtown, and he's demonstrating that in this game.
And so it's Detroit with it after the three-pointer from Houdini. Sasser with it. The shot, no good. Just over 2.5 minutes played now here in the final quarter of regulation.
Well, and this has been their strategy throughout the fourth period. We'll see how it pans out.
It's one thing to have teams shoot a bunch of threes, but with this team being that hot defensively, you got to chase them away from anywhere near that line.
Detroit with the ball after the three-pointer from Houdini. Outside, Jones. Again, the miss by the Pistons.
You could see he wanted to get him back. Sadly, he couldn't capitalize from outside the arc.
Here's Houdini. Off the mark there with the three-point shot. To end the run, he takes it up and lays it in. The Heat have gotten it done so far from the field here in the fourth, going 6 for 7. Fires the three. Connects again from distance. You can tell he is feeling it.
Kevin, he's on fire.
Guys are looking for a spark here.
Yeah, a cold stretch offensively for sure.
And all you got to do is look at the rebounding margin as to why they hold the lead.
Well, every time the shot goes up, guys are doing a nice job of finding bodies and making sure there's room to collect the rebound.
And the definition of teamwork right there on that alley-oop.
And, Greg, what about the finish? Bringing it down with some thunder. Yeah. Now, here's Schroeder. Fades away. That's short off the rim.
He's been doing it all night. Why not go back to him?
Yeah, he's feeling it. Keep feeding him until he misses.
Schroeder with the ball. Lewis covering. And it's Schroeder missing. Here's Houdini. Fires the three. And the Heat, another three.
He's just stretching him out. The defense has got to do a better job of staying attached to him.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the defense collectively was thinking there. You got to know where he is at all times.
Now here's Schroeder. Jones with the screen on Lewis. Schroeder finds Jones, and Jones slams it in.
It really does make the game easy for your teammates when you can lead them to the rim that well with a pass.
Hey, let's go. Move around.
Here's Houdini, pulls up on the wing, and the Heat get another bucket right there.
And, boy, he's really in a groove. Dominant performance last game. Same thing this time out.
Seems to be nobody standing in his way. No roadblocks for him to get to his spot, capitalize, and continue to be aggressive.
The shot's good from Forbes.
They start that play with aggressive defense, finish with aggressive offense.
Well, a lot of times coaches will tell you that if you play great defense, you're going to get a reward. It was a good possession all the way around.
Jones for three, and it's Miami with the rebound. Here's Houdini. Hits the three-point bomb.
That's just tremendous scoring instinct. So fun to watch him work in the half court.
So it's the Pistons now. And here's Schroeder. Fades. Alexander, no luck. Pass to Houdini. And again for three. He's really sniping them from outside.
Locked in, feeling confident. In that three-point shot.
And here's Jones. Shot to stop the run, and Jones slams it in.
Now, lead passes like that are so hard to defend. He never had to break his stride, so full speed, 2 points.
Here's Houdini. It's rebounded by Schroeder. Detroit's gone ice cold from three-point land, 0 of 4 since the start of the final quarter. Alexander gets the bucket.
That's just a lapse right there. No matter what, somebody has to be there and get a hand up in the shooter's face.
Fades and shoots. And, yep, finally drops after rolling around the rim.
He didn't need to fade back. No one in his face, but he buried it anyway.
Schroeder outside. Lewis grabs the board. Lewis has got 4 rebounds in this game.
Well, his shooting this quarter has to be a huge concern, especially when they're behind like this. Can he find a rhythm?
Just a humongous fourth quarter for him, especially from long range, just in a groove now, and that tray has been deadly.
Marvelous lead pass, and he throws it down.
And credit the screen for giving him the space he needed to get to the rim.
For sure, GA allows him to come in with the sledgehammer.
Yeah, why settle for the layup when you can attack the rim and rise up like that?
Now here's Jones after the miss from Houdini. Pass to Schroeder. Every team eventually goes through a coaching change, Brent, and how jarring is that when it happens, for instance, in midseason?
Well, Kevin, it can be pretty devastating for some teams, but for other teams, that change could be refreshing. And a lot of times, if the coach has had a longer tenure with the team, you can feel like a fish out of water with a new voice coming in.
Here's Alexander after the made shot from Houdini. Takes the 13-footer, and that one's good. Schroeder's got 4 points now in the quarter.
Such a strong offensive player. Schroeder is capable of knocking down some mid-range shots if you give him some room.
Houdini off target with his 3.
And he didn't punish them for the weak coverage there, but they can't count on him to continue missing.
Jones, no luck. Heat shooting a mind-boggling 79% off the floor. Here's Houdini. The rebound by the Pistons.
And I was sure that was money on that one, but everyone is afforded an easy miss or two.
Yeah, that happens. Important thing is for players, just don't beat yourself up and make a miss like that cost you another play.
From deep, more. That shot missing. Here's Houdini. And again.
And this game has his name written all over it.
Greg, he's been phenomenal in offensive onslaught. And it's Schroeder with the ball. He brings it up for Detroit. Well, the most important event of the NBA calendar might be in June, and it's not the finals, but rather for so many teams, Brent, the NBA draft.
Well, Kevin, it's a chance for you to set the table for your franchise. What do you want to have for next year? What do you want to have 5 years from now? And so all the work that goes in, the scouting, the intel work to build up a team where you are making the steps and taking strides to become a championship caliber team, that stuff starts at the NBA draft.
They've been looking out of sync offensively.
Yeah, their offense has ground to a standstill.
Here's Alexander. Rebound by the Heat. Payton's got rebound number 7 for him tonight. Connects again from distance. You can tell he is feeling it.
Kevin, he's on fire.
They're not having much success at all right now.
Kevin, I would shuffle the lineup if I were their coach a little bit just to try to find something that works.
And again, it's the Pistons missing. And here are the Heat now.
Well, guys, this was never really a contest, just a total obliteration, if you will. And you can safely say mission accomplished now for the Heat.
And this was one that never really was in doubt, I thought, an all-around dominant performance. And you kind of thought that maybe even going into the game.
Yeah, there was a sense of that, and man, they just pretty much blew them right out of the water. A clinic was put on display here today.
And counting tonight's game on the season, they'll now have won 57 games this year. And we watched one guy all night long, guys, and looking at the stats just confirms what a dominant game he had. What a night tonight it was for Houdini.
Now, this was a showcase night of his skills offensively. And just because he might not be as big as some of the other guys that are on the floor, it doesn't dissuade him from getting in there and playing fearlessly on the glass.
Good, another from 3. You can tell he is feeling it.
Kevin, he's on fire.
Pass to Alexander. Now Schroeder. Over Lewis. The second chance effort. And that's off the glass and in.
Now, that's how you pick up second chance points. Stay active and be ready as soon as the shot goes up.
Here's Houdini. It's stolen by Schroeder. Can't connect. And so Miami takes this one by a big margin. They poured it on tonight. Dominant showing in front of a crowd that loved every minute of it.
And, you know, this game could really be a defining one for what they can do when
Great win tonight, MP. MP got the job done tonight, as usual.
How much have to do with it? Hola and welcome to Noche Latina, an NBA celebration of Latin heritage. We're proud to bring it to you here at 2K. What makes this matchup even more compelling is the fact that both of these teams are on a win streak.
There's some extra motivation for both sides. Neither team wants to see that streak end. They want to continue and build momentum.
Here's Houdini. Gets the three to fall.
He's consistent from out there, especially when you give him that kind of room.
Now the starting group for San Antonio. Devin Vassell out there with Smith. Then there's Wembanyama. Then there's T.J. McConnell. And it's Castle in at the 2-guard.
Obviously, this guy has a talent for scoring, able to problem solve for whatever the defense tosses at him.
Hiring Udonis Haslam's number 40.
Yeah, he played his entire 2-decade career in his hometown of Miami. And for all of his contributions on the court, what he meant to this organization off the floor was just as important.
Now let's send it down to Ali, who has a report on MP.
Hey, Brian. This is a highly anticipated matchup between two MVP hopefuls, and MP knows they've got their hands full with Wembanyama. He told me, quote, the things he does at his size are unbelievable. You guys have watched him. Everyone knows that Victor is a problem.
He certainly is, although MP presents his share of problems as well, Ali. About a minute played here so far in the first. Here's McConnell. And he drops in the layup off the glass.
Just taking it right to the rim, and no one was there to greet him.
Easy possessions like that literally are just a gift. You just dream of them. He'll gladly take those.
Here's Houdini. We saw him go on a scoring rampage last game. He was unstoppable.
And 3 for 4 to start, showing some rhythm.
Pass to Castle. McConnell with a screen on James. Offensive board. Here's Wembanyama. And the dunk by Wembanyama.
Yeah, terrific follow-through from Wembanyama, proving he has a good head on his shoulders.
The Heat have gone 3 of 4. Off to a nice start. Got it. Houdini's got 9.
These are exactly the kind of shots they want to generate each and every time down the floor.
McConnell outside. Here's Vassell. And that misses. That would have put him up. The Heat have gone 4 of 5 so far. Looking sharp. Here's Houdini. Shot is good. Good off the back rim and in. 11 points in the game.
And he's made his mark on offense especially. They gotta be thankful he's on their squad.
The drive by Wembanyama. Uses the glass to finish the layup.
And part of what makes Wembanyama so dangerous, a big guy who can push the pace.
Here's Houdini. Rebound by San Antonio.
You got to move past that one. I mean, they'd want him to take that again.
Yeah, it's a great look for him. One they'll try and manufacture again. Those are the shots you want him to take.
Hanging on the rim, just showing off.
That's how you extend the glory right there. To the wing, right side. Fires it. And the basket by Houdini.
He's looked practically unstoppable this quarter. The defense, yeah, well, they They haven't had many answers for him.
Pass to McConnell. Now here's Vassell. Over Hero. Vassell can't get it to go.
That's a shot he'd like back. He's usually going to make those.
Here's Houdini. Sinks it from distance.
Talk about putting a team on your back. He has been dominant this quarter, and I don't think they are winning without him.
Castle for three. Knocks down the triple. Castle's gotten his second bucket on the night.
That's how you up the ante. Come right back at him.
Yeah, I love the competitive fire right there. You drain a triple on us, and I'm coming for my revenge. This man has entered the zone. Great shooting performance from him all game long.
Pass to Smith. To the middle. Here's McConnell. The bank shot, no good. Miami leading by 5. Here's Houdini. 19 points in the game. Here's the three. Rebounded by Castle. San Antonio's gone 1 for 3 from beyond the arc. 4-3. Rebound Miami. Ware's got his 4th rebound in this one. Hero, the pass to Houdini. And buries the jump. For to finish off the break. Houdini's got 21. Spurs trail by 7. McConnell outside. Vassell outside. For 3, Smith. Rebound Miami. Here's Houdini. He's got 21. Good, and the assist goes to Adebayo. 24 points for him.
They've really built this lead on the back of their perimeter game.
We'll see if they can keep this pace. Not sure they can win it by relying on just the 3.
Pass to Wembanyama. Here's Castle, coming off a solid outing against Memphis. Left side, Wembanyama. Off the mark with the outside fadeaway. And so Adebayo will bring it up for the Heat. It's a 10-point game. At 6'9", Bam Adebayo is on the shorter side of centers. Yet he is elite defensively, Grant.
He's been top 5 in Defensive Player of the Year voting a bunch of times. Bam has an incredible motor, a great IQ, and he's a switchable big. That's huge in today's game.
And we've got a timeout called by Greg Popovich. He's going to gather the troops and talk it over. He's really been spectacular lately. Here's your Western Conference Player of the Week, Victor Wembanyama.
As of late, he has been an absolute menace on the defensive end of the floor, causing all kinds of trouble for